Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is me, DanaG, and tonight I would like to talk to you about my book and my Patreon page. Oh yeah, and one other thing that I keep forgetting. Please, if you will be so kind as to help me out by clicking the subscribe button, hitting the little bell so you know when I upload other videos, and like this one and share it with all of your friends, it would really make my day. As most of you know, I am the author of The Awakening, Love Eternal. It is the first book of a series. It is an adult fantasy romance. It has a whole lot going on in it. And it has been a very exciting journey through the writing process and into the editing process, which has taken a lot more time than I originally anticipated that it would, but it's because my original thoughts on editing were completely incorrect. And the more that I learn and the more that I work with my editor, the more that I realize that in order to reach perfection, you have to take your time. So, with that being said, I am very excited to announce that the first round of editing, which we decided your basic grammar editing to begin with, so that when we moved into content editing, it flowed. The whole story flowed. And now that is where we are at. So tonight, even though I have talked about it a little bit in the past, tonight I am officially announcing my Patreon page. What is Patreon, you're asking yourself? Patreon is a wonderful platform where creative people like myself, whether writers, poets, musicians, artists, it's a platform where we can all get together, and those of you who absolutely love our work can support us financially through a safe means. Patreon has a really neat system set up so that there are different tiers that you can become a patron on. Some creatives like myself start out as little as $1 a month and go on to much larger amounts. Each tier of the Patreon tree has a different amount, and with it has a different reward. Tonight I am announcing my $10 tier. For $10 a month, you will get an exclusive audio version of my book read by me. Now granted, this is not the completely edited version. This is the version that you get long before it's ready for publication, before anyone else gets to see it or read it. You get your chance to go and hear it read to you by me, which is a little scary because I'm not a voice actor. I'm a writer. But I am trying my best. I've got all of my equipment, and so far, what I hear isn't terrible. I'm including on this video a small taste test of what you can look forward to. And each month until publication, you will get a new chapter done exactly the same, read by me for you only. Now, remember, this is the unedited version. So, by the time it gets to Amazon.com and bookstores, there might be subtle changes. There could potentially be larger changes. This will never change. This is going to be your exclusive audio version of The Awakening, Love Eternal, read by me, DanaG. In the future, any other audiobooks made will be read by somebody else, and you won't have that special connection to them. So, without further ado, The Awakening, Love Eternal, Book 1 by DanaG Author. Prologue. I am startled by the feeling of a cold, wet hand on my skin. Mommy, Mommy! I look down into the misty forests of my heart song's eyes. You finished your bath so soon, Moondrop. Time stands still as I watch her lips turn into a smile, her eyes growing large with excitement. A little giggle sneaks out of her, and time is thrown back into its usual pace. Well, my love, I guess it's time to get tucked in. But Mama, you forgot our story. I pause and look at her confused. A story? What do you mean I forgot our story? Mina's face becomes concerned. Mama, are you sick with fever tonight? I smile at her. No, Mina. Why? Before she can answer, I hear Emma let out a giggle. My heart sinks, knowing she has caused my game to come to an end. Come, get your blanket and I will tell you a story. The sound of her little feet running out of the room fills my heart with joy. Emmeline, are you feeling okay? You do appear to be off in the distant world tonight. I am fine, Emma. It is true that I am fine, but the world seems off tonight. Gregory, Levi's new business partner, had a bed delivered to the house this morning. It's a gift to Mina, an olive branch between our two homes, I guess. I hear Mina coming back from the other room, giggles along with the patter of her little bare feet on the stone floor. I am all ready, Mama. I turn and look at her as she runs through the door. Her raven black hair is wildly bouncing around as she runs with her blanket in tow. I stop and think for a moment about how much I will miss these little gifts as Mina grows older. The love I have for my child fills me with so much joy that it almost breaks my heart knowing that she will one day be claimed by her betrothed and will go to a faraway land to start her own life and family. I follow Mina as she runs around the new bed that was gifted to her, wrapping her blanket around her like a wizard's cloak. Rounding the bed again, she giggles and draws her attention to the window. Mina stops and smiles at the window. Good night, Mr. Raven. She slowly tiptoes to the window, making a strange gurgling croak. Followed by another caw. Smiling, Mina stands looking out the window. I look to see what is out there. To my amazement, there is an enormous raven perched on her window ledge, staring at Mina, making the same gurgling followed by a caw. Thank you for being my best friend, Mr. Raven. I hear it answer her with a gravelly caw. I love you too. See you tomorrow. Another gravelly caw, and it flies off into the night. Mina turns and skips back over to me. Did you see my friend, Mama? His name is Mr. Raven. He watches me when I am outside playing. And sometimes when I close my eyes, I can see the world from way up high in the sky, like Mr. Raven." "That is fascinating, Mina. How long have you been friends?" She looks at me confused. "We have been friends for as long as I can remember." She hands me her blanket, and I wrap it around her, then scoop her little body into my lap. "Do you have other animal friends, Mina?" She smiles up at me. "Well, last week I started seeing a baby bear on the edge of the woods. Papa always says to stay away, but no matter how far away I go, it follows me. So I did the same game I play with Mr. Raven, and it worked. I knew that the baby bear was looking for me and wanted to have some lunch. So I went into the kitchen and took some fish and some fruit and set it on a stump. I waited to see if I told the baby bear in my mind where the food was, if he would find it." I looked down at her, very interested in her story. "Well, did it work?" Mina pulls her blanket up over her mouth, hiding her smile. "Well, did it, Mina?" Her giggle slips out. "Of course it did, Mama. And Mr. Raven was even invited by the baby bear to share his picnic." I look over to Emma, who is tidying up the room. "Did you know about this, Emma?" "Mina has been coming up with wild tales, Miss Emmeline. Children do that. It just shows that her imagination is growing." Disappointed in the fact that Emma neglected to tell me about Mina's tales, I dismiss her for the night. "Mama, please! I don't want to talk about my friends anymore. I want to hear the story." I wait, listening for the door to close, so I know we are alone. "What story do you want to hear tonight?" "The story, Mama." "Oh, you mean the story about the rat who stole the princess?" Mina's face twists in disgust. "No, Mama. You know what story I'm talking about." "Oh, that story. Well, let me see if I can remember it." She giggles and settles into her blanket. "A long time ago, when the world was still new, the goddess DanaG made love to her beloved and became pregnant. Unlike the times when she birthed the planets and all of the stars, this time her belly grew very large, just like the human creations she loved so much. When it was time, great pains filled DanaG's body. After a long time, a child came into the universe. But he was no ordinary child. DanaG's child was much larger than a human child, and DanaG's children were born with wings. They were truly magnificent creatures, and DanaG loved them more than anything in creation. Over time, Azil Uzia grew jealous of DanaG's sons and sent them all to Earth, giving each son a job to do. Thousands of years went by, and the sons of DanaG began to grow jealous of the humans they reigned over and protected. One night, DanaG visited her sons and asked them why their hearts were so heavy. "We want wives of our own, Mother Goddess." DanaG knew that she could not create living creatures on Earth without the consent of her husband, but she decided to do it anyway. DanaG took a rib from each son. DanaG used the marrow of each bone to create for her son a mate. Why did she need the marrow to make a mate for her son, Mama? DanaG used the marrow of the bone so that each son's mate would be bound to him with a bond that would last forever. You do not hate your hand, correct? I look down at Mina as she wiggles her hand out of the wrap. I watch her look at it and smile. No, Mama, I like my hand. It helps me find my treasures. She giggles again, and I continue the story. When Azil Uzziah found out what DanaG had done behind his back, he became so angry. The entire planet shook, and the people of Earth were in darkness for 3 months. Does Azil Uzziah still get mad like that, Mama? I can hear the little shaking in her voice. I look down, and she is hiding deeper in the blanket. He hasn't been that angry for a long time, so I don't think we need to worry about it happening again. Mina smiles and lowers her blanket. When the sun did finally shine again, the world had changed. One by one, the sons of DanaG began to vanish, and the world was thrown into chaos, not having strong leaders to guide the people. Almost 100 years passed with war and chaos destroying the world. Then one day, a son of DanaG emerged from the chaos. He traveled the lands explaining the wheel of Azil. He traveled the lands explaining the will of Azil Uzziah and searching for a woman, his promised bride. Mina squirms and giggles over hearing about the promised bride. I lean down and kiss her nose, knowing it's her heart fluttering that causes her to giggle. When the son of DanaG finally found his promised bride, he loved her with a love that was so intense a new planet was created just for them. Mina lets out another giggle, and I am filled with joy hearing her happiness, knowing that it is her soul speaking to her. Then what, Mama? The bride was only an infant when he found her. So the son of DanaG promised her family that he would make sure they never wanted for anything. In return, they would raise her in the ways of Azil Uzziah. And when she was 21, he would return to win her hand for himself. Did the parents agree to do as he asked? Of course. You don't say no to the son of DanaG. They raised their daughter in the ways of Azil Uzziah, and on her 21st birthday, the son of DanaG returned and won the hand of his bride. Mama, do you think her parents were sad when she left? I look down into Mina's dark green eyes. I know they were sad, but they were happy at the same time. Tears well in my eyes and burn as I try to fight them back. I will be sad one day when you leave my home to start your own family. But I will be overjoyed at the same time. Mina's face becomes serious. You have nothing to worry about, dear Mama. I won't ever leave you and Papa. Just then the door opens, and the sounds of heavy boots walking excites Mina. She jumps off my lap, dropping her blanket on the ground, and runs to the music of her Papa. Papa, Papa, I have missed you so much today, Papa. Why aren't you in bed, little Mina? Levi lifts Mina into the sky, and the room is filled with squeals of joy. Mama was telling me a story, and I had to wait for you, Papa, to give me my kisses good night. I stand, my heart filled with joy watching them together. Levi cradles Mina in his arms and carries her back toward me. Papa, you are a huge man. Do you think you are a son of DanaG, the mother goddess? I watch as he looks down into the eyes of his only heir. What will he tell her tonight? She is such a smart girl. Princess, you know the answer in your heart. You must find it for yourself. He looks at her and kisses her forehead, then looks at me and winks. Are you excited about sleeping in your new bed, Princess? Mina twists her face. The carvings are scary, Papa. Scary? I did not teach you to be scared of things, my love. I know, Papa, but it smells funny, and there are weird faces on it. Levi looks at his pride and joy, then up at me. Princess Mina, let me look at these faces. Then I will tuck you in and check your room for monsters. But I know firsthand your mother has worked so hard making sure every nook and cranny of this room is so safe no evil could ever get in. Levi stops, only for a moment to kiss me, then walks over to the bed, standing Mina on the mattress. Levi walks around the frame, inspecting the characters. One by one, he tells Mina who they are and what they symbolize. Satisfied, Mina lays down, and I watch my husband take care of his little princess as no other man would. He loves her with every bit of his being and makes me so happy that he is not disappointed that she is not a boy. Papa, please don't leave me. Please tell me a story so I can go into the dream world hearing your voice. Mina, it is late and I am tired. I promise if you close your eyes and go to sleep, tomorrow I will tell you 3 stories. I can see from where I am standing a tear roll down her face, and I know what she will say. She will be brave for her papa, and she won't make another sound until the sun shines through her window. Will you tell me the story about the warrior king and the princess tomorrow, Papa? I will tell you any story you want to hear.
Levi leans down and kisses his Mina. She closes her eyes, and I hear them recite a children's prayer to Azil Uzziah. Levi stands, and as he reaches for her oil lamp, Mina reaches up and wraps her tiny hand around his fingers. Mina, I have to turn out the light. She is still, holding eye contact with her papa. What did I teach you about the dark? There is nothing in the dark that isn't there in the light. Mina releases his hand. I hear him tell her one last time, "Good night, my love." I walk over to the door and open it, lighting his way into our room. Good night, my heart's song. I will see you in the morning. I love you, my Mina. I close the door and walk over to Levi, who is undressing for the night. Please, Emmeline, I can feel your anxiety from here. He lets go of his pants, letting them fall to his knees. He sits on the edge of the bed, and I help him remove his boots and pants. Levi stands and goes into the shower. I follow him. The water begins to run, and I feel it's safe to talk to him now. Mina won't hear my words. Levi, I am worried. Ever since that gift came into this house, I have had a weird feeling. I haven't been able to concentrate, and I don't like it. I watch as Levi washes his hair. He hands me a sponge and turns his back to me so I can wash it for him. Emmeline, my darling, I am the lord of this realm. Don't you think I would know if evil had found a way into my home? Yes, but... He turns, looking at me with those eyes. The eyes that make me forget about all the cares of the world. Listen to me, priestess. I will never let anything harm my family. Levi reaches up, taking my wrist in his hand, pulling me into the water with him, holding me against his bare chest. What are you doing? My night clothes are getting soaked. I begin to laugh as I feel the lightweight linen being pulled up. You don't need night clothes, my love. I feel his lips on my neck, one hand on my breast, holding me tightly to his body. As he kisses my neck and earlobe, the other hand tickling the skin on my hips as his fingers lightly caress my skin. Oh, Levi, you know just how to distract me from the worries of this world. I don't stop him. I want him to take my anxiety and stress away, even if only for a moment. Levi, we don't even know this new business partner of yours very well. I hear him growl deep in his chest. Why are you bringing my new business partner into my shower? I'm not. Before I can get the rest out, my thoughts are lost on the pleasures of Levi's fingers massaging me. I want to make another heir, Emmeline. I tilt my head back with pleasure. You know that's not possible, Levi. Shh, woman. You don't know what is possible. I will make love to you like my father made love to the mother goddess when the universe was created. We will see what we can make ourselves. I utterly let go of my desire for my husband and all my cares are momentarily taken away by the man whose body made my own.
Go to the description below, click on the link to my Patreon page, and get signed up so that you can have your exclusive copy of The Awakening, Love Eternal. And remember, this is just the beginning of the journey. It's only going to get better from here.